Hello, folks. Welcome to the Market Internal Reviews for June 16th, 2023. We're going to start here with SPY. We looked yesterday and saw an immense amount of volume headed into the ascending stocks for the New York Stock Exchange. And as I said yesterday, my gut feeling was like, we're probably going to come down some. But again, I got to look at the data that's here on the chart every day. I refuse to let my gut dictate trade management and trade opportunity analysis. But we did see a slight gap up here at the open. It quickly lost that, which, a little bit of price analysis here is just the last little bit of the day prior, about that last hour, 45 minutes. I tend to plot that as a range and just kind of see how the open reacts to that. So, if you consider it as kind of a wall for the next day, that if we can't clear that, it shows me a little bit of something, I suppose. So take it or leave it, but watch the resistance around that particular area. And I also noticed that the add and volt bands trends were bearish, not very bright green here. And we ended the previous day, Thursday, with an immense amount of positive tick on the extreme highs here. And we had a tick average closures over zero. But quickly after this dump, which conveniently has us land right at the tick previous day's session TWAP, taking a look at that, right? Where's that consolidation happening is right where trend is starting to show a balance. Okay, we're seeing high extreme tick, but a sell-off. And we're seeing a medium break here on the tick low as we hit a balance. Tick average closures heading below zero. And the add and volt are showing bearish, but they're in the bullish upper areas. So we see this strong base here right at the previous day's session TWAP. And then we chop our way back. And we land right on the TWAP here, reclaiming that first deviation zone. But it's still overall kind of choppy. And then, we're looking at the price delivery, seeing all these wicks. We can't reclaim the end of day range from previous day. We're just chopping around here, right? Then we get this first extreme closure. That's what this little plus is here on the trend analysis line here at mid of the histogram, 0 point, as tick average closure starts to descend again. We get another strong tick low. This is almost 900. Now look at the add and the volt bands. They're bearish. Their trends are bearish as well. They're 20 SMA trends. Now the thing is we're showing a balance. So we're not potentially going to see any good up or downside moves. And it's right at this base that we made earlier in the morning session. So it's still imperative to look at the price and see what's going on with the internals and see how it's affecting the stock that you're looking at. So in this case, we're looking at SPY, and then we're comparing it to all of this. This is all the New York Stock Exchange, if you've not seen the other videos. So now that we're in a potential balance area, the way I read that is, given that I am seeing good alignment with the internals and SPY today, is I want to see this balance zone. I want to see this balance zone break on SPY one way or the other. Okay. Now, the thing about it is you can use the add and the volt bands. You can use the trend analysis, and you can somewhat, it's not 100% accurate, but you can somewhat forecast what direction, if there is a break of balance, that the market will go, that the ETF will go. Now we see this retest here that faked out a lot of people, where we get our tick average closures over zero. We're seeing a potential bullish reversal with the 20 SMA trends on the add and the volt. We even see a little bit of a bullish volume here where volt is turning green. Okay, look where it goes. It does pump up through here. Okay, it gets you right through the balance zone. The trend is no longer showing balance, but it's not also showing imbalance, which is these white lines here. It makes it to the upper first deviation high before we get this fat rejection. The way I look at that is there was no new extreme highs up here. We got some medium highs on tick, but nothing like this here. So I'm still overall looking at the ad band, and it's giving me a bearish bias. Totally fine if you could catch this kind of move here, this reclaim of tick of TWAP standard deviation low to the opposite end. Because when we're in a balance, these kind of moves here where we oscillate within the mean zone, that's a good setup. And that's how you can know whether or not you should look for these kinds of setups, is when trend is showing a balance. And we oscillate, right? We got some medium breaks up, medium breaks to high breaks down, back to medium breaks high, right? So that's zigzag. So you could totally catch this kind of thing. But now, broader context, where could we set up for a potential larger move? Well, this will show you potentially. So we see a low extreme tick, and the price is here. We're seeing another one here, and we're seeing one down here. So we did make a lower low. Now we reclaimed all that, but notice how this cluster of ticks here and this cluster of medium ticks here hit the same price. See that? With a potential imbalance, but ad is still red. We flip back right about here. On closure, we start to flip bullish across the board. Now we did make a higher low with this tick low here. So we'll mark that. Actually, the line's already there. That's us pressing against the session TWAP. Then we make more lows. Ticks on average closing below 0 point. So we get this next thing, and it breaks us back below this cluster of balanced price action. Now, they retest the TWAP and break down, and we sold off for the rest of the time. We get a first standard deviation break low, test the second deviation, and we oscillate, ultimately wicking that second deviation low. And we ended the day right there. Shorts were in favor most of the day, but we definitely had some balance, and it affected the way price was delivered. And, this was my analysis. You don't have to use any of this stuff, but these are the kinds of things I look at. Now, if we turn on tick levels, okay, so tick levels, once again, it pulls some things out that my eyeballs don't, but they're very close to the same. So we got a tick. Okay, we got a tick level here, which is roughly right about this level that I had here. So that's pretty darn close. And okay, it pulled one here from the tick high. The tick highs and then the medium breaks here. And notice how it's right in the middle of all this mess. So that's a good indication, I think, personally, from tick levels of balance, right? When you get this choppy zigzag garbage here, and this tick level is in the middle of all of it, that's a balance. So we get a couple more here with all these lows, and these were more 900, almost 1,000 breaks. Those are pretty strong from tick standpoint in my experience. And then we get this strong support here from these tick lows that we reclaim up. And look at all these little bounce consolidation areas are right on the tick levels from earlier in the morning. Beautiful candle action right here. Frustrating to trade if you're trying to do a reclaim entry up here, but really good candle actions. This proves, in my opinion, that the tick levels are incredibly accurate for price. So then when this one breaks here, look at this fat candle. It ends basically right on that tick level. We oscillate but right back around, pop above, break back down, and then we never come back, right? We lose all these resistance levels, or support levels rather, and the rest is history. So this was a really good day of understanding, or this is a really good example of a day where you can totally pull trades out of a market like this, where this would probably frustrate many traders. But if you know what you're looking at with the internals, you can navigate it with confidence and you can pull out some money on a day like today. You have the upper hand, in my opinion, in that you can see what the entire New York Stock Exchange is doing. What is the tone that's being set for the day? What are areas you can stay out of, right? All the areas of balance. Okay. And what are the areas where we should be looking for opportunities in line with the tone of the New York Stock Exchange? So this right here was a perfect example of where we're hitting this tick level. We're at the extreme of the mean, that first standard deviation, right? With TWAP being the mean, and we lost it. We did not reclaim this price up here. Overall bearish down here. We lose tick average closures in the bullish area, and most of the rest of the day, tick from 1:30 on, one of my favorite times, just red most of the rest of the day. So mostly a clear setup day, but frustrating if you're trying to scalp and chase certain kinds of candle patterns. We'll take a look at the Qs. I know already Qs had much the same day. Now, that is one interesting note here is Qs started with a much higher gap. So there must be some tech stocks that just went insane or something overnight. I don't know if there was earnings or anything, but yeah, I mean, they lost that immediately. And yeah, most of this is essentially the exact same. The only thing I'd say is that they were perhaps a little weaker with their price delivery on the morning session in that, yeah, I'm not sure. No, I think roughly this is pretty much the same as SPY. There's not much different here. All the support and areas where we bounced, all pretty much aligned with previous days TWAP. But I mean, this kind of candle action here, this is really frustrating if you're not patient and you're not using the proper vehicle to capture this move. So it's not a clean day, right? This was a clean day. When we get this imbalance, and then we get these nice clean ripper type moves here. This is what we all want all the time. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, let's go look at tick raw chart here. So the MIT indicator already gave us most of what we can see on the raw charts, albeit much easier. I'm going to go ahead and remove this line because I keep visually thinking that's the top, but it's not. There it is. Okay, so that's our neutral zone. Look at that. Just not very many little wicks, a couple here and there, but nothing really. This is nothing. But these, look at that. That's the kind of bearish action you want to see pushing price down, right? That's the New York Stock Exchange. There's a huge amount of stocks that are just going down. And nice amount of weight into that push down, unlike all this noise up here. Then we get a little cluster here, nothing too exciting. Notice not even hitting that kind of starting bullish to extreme bullish area. And I mean, pretty much same thing, right? You look here, the chunking I always talk about, not as exciting down here, but we start to get a little bit of extreme. Really just this guy. It's really reaching down into here. Couldn't close down here like it did down here and pretty much here, but still good, right? And then you look up here and we're not, there's just a wall here except for right there. There's just a wall. There's nothing. And then this whole part of the day, nothing, right? So this is your retest. And then boom, we come down low and we just pretty much stay in that bearish to extreme bearish range. So let's go take a look at trend. So trend, recall early morning to noon session, it was showing a potential balance. So here we go. We see this strong push. And this would be a bearish push. Rejected it. We see more balance here. Overall, rejected it. But, I would say overall trend today was not giving necessarily false readings, but not really incredibly helpful in that it's never really bullish, it's never really bearish, it's not really balanced. These are the most annoying kind of days, typically I find, for me to trade SPY, the Qs, or whatever. I come back, I'm like reviewing my trades, reviewing kind of my trade journal. Was I frustrated or not? And then I come and look at trend, and I look at this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is this is a horrible day overall to trade. You're not getting those strong continuation, those strong trending moves. It's these little tiny scalps and a lot more discipline and faith in your setups that, they're going to pay out over time. And you just have to be patient. And instead of getting a nice trade in 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, you're waiting hours. And it's a mindset shift. When the market gives you such nice moves that you can dip in and out multiple times and you're making good money. And then you get a day like this where it's like, you can't dip in and out. You got to get in and hunker down and stay in the trench for, an hour or two. It can be difficult. So if anybody doesn't like that kind of market and they don't like those kinds of trades, you need to look at trend and try to learn how it moves in the morning. If it's doing this kind of crap, just walk away. Yeah, you could find opportunities, but they're not your opportunities if it's going to be such a mental toll on you to sit through those trades. And trend can help you see what kind of day it's going to be. This is like a, good forecast. So just a word of advice, I suppose. Okay, so here's the ad, and just complete opposite of the day prior, right? We got I don't know what happened there. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, a complete opposite of yesterday, where we are below the 20 SMA almost the entire first half of the day. We retest this 341 level, then we just continue. So there's not really much else to say. Just, we're headed down. Now, we oscillated around balance first part of the day, and this is roughly where trend was showing us being in a balance. So this is why trend is reading ad and vol data in a particular way. You can go look at my market internals deep dive video that I made. It was the first video on this channel, and you can learn about how trend calculates things and how ad and vol calculate things. And hopefully at that point, when you read the formula, it's not advanced, you'll understand why this kind of price action will show up as a balance for trend. Going and taking a look at Vold. Okay, wow. So Vold was a struggle today. Look at the amount of time we spent in this balance area. Good portion of the day. We were so recall we ended the day yesterday at this incredible high, and just immense volume pouring in all day. Everyone having a blast on the upside, anyways. And they even started this today right up here. Wow, started this way up high, immediately lost it, and lost the balance zone. By before noon, we were in the bearish volume Vold area. And then we reclaim all of that, get back through balance, and actually start to head up bullish almost. Crazy. Volume had a crazy day today by 1 p.m. And then boom, 20 SMA crossover and just dumps over and over. Doesn't stop. So in the end of the day, we hit the bearish extreme area. Not to the extent we hit the bullish area up here. So maybe there's still some fight left in this quote unquote bull market that I keep reading about. The bull market is back. So we'll see. We got a long weekend. Anything can happen. Let's take a look at VIX here real quick. Okay. Wow. Oh, VIX is at $13.50. Looking on the weekly chart. Dang. Okay, so from a past video, I had a couple levels here and some dates. Wow. Yeah, so we've broken down some incredible lows. I mean, the last time we were down in these areas was 2020, 2019. And I mean, for a long time. This was 2018 to let's see, what is that? April 2018 to October 2018. So that's what, 5 months, somewhere around there. That's like 6 or 7 months. I'm trying to do the quick math in my head, but yeah, that's an immense amount of time to spend in such a low volatility area. And we had some pops here, but whew, look at that guy. 2016 to 2017. Oh, that's effectively a year almost. Whew, I hope we don't see that. I like my volatility. I happen to know some other traders that like volatility as well. Crazy. So yeah, with volatility so low, I hope we don't have more days like the one we had today. I did okay, but it's not as fun. Yesterday was a lot more fun, for sure. Well, let's look at the weekly TWAP here. Look at the weekly TWAP, and I'm going to turn tick levels off. Okay, yep. I remember this. I was calling it out in Discord today. So weekly TWAP, we hit that second deviation high. We're just cramming up above there. Today we lost the second deviation and really sold off and started to make our way right back towards the weekly anchored TWAP here, 437.7. So that would have been exciting to get her back down that far, but that's where we ended the week. The month, okay, month is actually kind of close to weekly, but yeah, monthly we've broken down the second deviation zone and started heading back towards the first deviation. So monthly TWAP is 430. So I mean, if we're going to see a mean reversion, that could be exciting to get down to the monthly level, but I would say, and this is completely speculation, but I would at least expect 437 to be tapped or real close. But this value will recalculate and expand and move as the month goes on. And that's what it does, is it averages in more information. So interesting stuff. Qs. We'll go and look at Qs real quick again on this monthly TWAP. Wow. Okay, monthly TWAP. Qs had a much stronger sell, I feel like. But monthly TWAP 358. That'd be incredible. That would be incredible. I don't think we're going to see that, but that's that's just my gut. Well, let's look at Dow. What did Dow do today? Mainly same move as SPY. Pop back up, try to reattempt at the highest standard deviation, first one, and then lost TWAP, retest, and sold off. Yeah. How about the Russ? What did Russ do? Double bottom. Wow, they barely had any kind of pop today. Just weakness across the board. Yeah. Poor Russ. I did hear some news that the Fed is the market is starting to price in like a 60% chance of Fed increasing rates again the next time around. So, maybe some sector rotation, some Fed FUD. That's a fun one. Fed FUD coming in, and it's going to cause some volatile price moves. That could be exciting. But we'll just have to wait and play each day as she comes, and we'll see what kind of opportunities we could nab. I'm going to keep trying to do these videos on a daily basis. I may cool off on them. If you got any questions or any suggestions on these indicators or things you want me to review, if there's other stocks you want me to look at with the market internals, Tesla, Apple, whatever, leave them in the comments and I'll start doing those. I'm almost done with the video to show you kind of an advanced strategy I've come up with for using session TWAP data to find some killer entries. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming out this weekend. And yeah, I hope you had a great week. And thank you for watching. As always, happy trading.